everyone, it's Sue. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. I thought I'd just turn the camera on because I got a little bit of inspiration from Andrea at Journal the Junk. Now I'll put her details, her Instagram page and her YouTube channel down below. She had this on her Instagram. I had a look through her YouTube and she doesn't actually have a tutorial, but so I'm just going to have a play. I wanted to make, I mean, everybody's, well, maybe not everybody, but it's out there on YouTube how to make aged tape. And just the thought of, I don't know, every time I get my alcohol inks out, I just make a hell of a mess. Anyway, I mean, I've taken the lid off this and hit it on here, and I've made a mess even with pens. So you can imagine with the fluid alcohol ink how I would be. But so I wanted to have a try at making some aged tape. So I went, and Andrea had used alcohol based ink markers. I went to Officeworks to get some ink for my printer, and I thought I'll just grab a couple. They didn't have a lot of choice of color. I've grabbed chocolate and espresso. So one darker, one sort of lighter. I don't know. I do have this one, but I think it's a little bit too pink. It's got a bit too much pink in it. They were about $3.79 or something, I think I paid each. And it's the actual Officeworks brand, Born, I think. I think it's their own brand. So I just thought I'd get a couple, have a play. I don't know what it's going to turn out like at all. But first of all, and then I thought, well, if I make some tape, I want to be able to store it somewhere at hand, like close by, so that I actually remember to use it. Because I tend to just put that sort of stuff to the side, forget about it, and then I don't ever use it. So you'll need a couple of alcohol ink based pens. I've just got some cotton tips and some blending solution here for alcohol ink. I don't know, I'm going to have a play. I'm not very confident with alcohol inks, but it's just about playing. I do have some sticky tape. This is just my tape that I use in the shop. And then I have got this tape here, which it's a yellowy color, but it's not as dark as I would like. But I wanted two different size or widths of tape. So I'm going to be using those, and it's just normal. This is, actually, this is just a PPS brand. And this is, I think this is actually, I can't read that. Pilo tape brand. So I'm going to be using those as well as just some baking paper. I'm just using the brown baking paper because that's what I had. But I guess you could use any sort of wax-proof paper or baking paper that you can stick your tape to, because you want to be able to stick your tape down to be able to ink it and also store it and then lift it when you want to use it. Then, I think I said I'm going to make a little booklet or something, just a little scrappy booklet to put them in. So I'm going to cut some sheets of this to make into the booklet. And I think I'm just going to leave it the height of this, which is, I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, almost 12 inches high. So I'll fold that in half, which will make it about 6. So I'm thinking I might cut these about maybe 5 inches wide, just so that we've got, you know, a decent strip of tape, I'm thinking. All right, so I'm going to do that. And the way, because this is on a roll, if you try and take it off, it just rolls in on itself. I always put my, I'm not sure whether you can actually see, I've put my box of baking paper up against the edge of my mat, and it just sits there, and it's easy to use that, and you're not fighting with paper that curls up everywhere. So I'm just going, and if this isn't perfectly straight, it doesn't matter. It's just a little booklet that I want to make so that I can have it just in front of me here if I want to use it, and I can grab it. So it's just not sheets of tape lying around everywhere. because I'll end up just putting them in a drawer and forgetting about it. So I'm just using my blade and just a metal ruler, and I'm just going to cut several sheets at 5 inches wide. So I've cut all those. See how they roll in on themselves? That's okay. I did actually set aside some under my mat, and I don't know, they're a little bit flatter, not much, but a little bit. So all I've done with them is I've just folded them in half. 2, 3, 4. I mean, I've got 5 sheets. You can do however many you like. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to put this in just a little cover, but I might do yes, I think I'll put some tape on there first. So my idea of making the booklet is that once I have exhausted all the tape that's in here, I can always just have the booklet and just put more tape down and colour it. So as I said, I'm really loving the idea of these pens, and hopefully they won't be as messy as having the alcohol inks. We'll see how we go. I may even buckle and try some of the actual alcohol ink. We'll see, but I was really inspired by Andrea and her photo on Instagram. So I'm just going to quickly lay just a few different sheets of sticky tape down. Okay, so I'm just starting with one sheet. I'm not worried, it's crooked as anything. They're all different lengths, it doesn't matter. But you can see, oh, actually I don't know whether it's showing up, but you can see that this pilot tape is actually a little bit coloured. You can see the difference between the clear and that particular tape. So it's got a little bit of colour already on it. So I'm just trying to sort of stick that down as best as I can. And then basically I'm just going to use these pens and do a bit of colouring and playing, maybe dropping some of the blending solution on. I might try and just use it because the dropper is quite big. Just drop some on here and tap it onto some of the tape. I'm just going to have a play basically and just see what I come up with. So I might just speed the camera up while I'm doing that, and we'll see what we come up with at the end. So here I've done the one colour, so I've used the chocolate colour, and I've just tapped the nib. It's probably very shiny. I'm actually filming at night, so the light's extra shiny. I've just sort of tapped the nib just to sort of give it a little bit of a imperfect look. Here I've gone and I've just gone over the first layer with my pen. And I've just tapped here again. This one I've done the dark, what did I use? The chocolate. It's very dark. What I thought I might do is, with that one, I'm going to drop a little bit of blending solution onto a cotton tip. I have no idea whether this is going to work. And I'm just going to sort of touch it onto, yeah, no, it's just going to bring it up. It's not really, because it's not wet enough, I don't think. What I thought, I left a bit of the tape uncolored there because I thought I might come in with some of this color in the spaces. I know I risk contaminating my nib, but that's okay. I'm happy to do that. I just want to play and just see what I can come up with. Okay, so that's really not the effect that I was looking for, but it's really glary. I do apologize. So I'm just coming in with this color here, just over top of where there's no color. Just see what that does. As you can see, it's just added more imperfections. So I'm just going to keep going, just have a bit of a play. I'm going to drop some. What I might do is I might just do another full piece of this darker color, and I might actually drop some of the solution directly onto it. So I just didn't want it to go in a full circle. So I've just sort of dropped it and lifted the piece. I don't know whether I'm really happy with that either, but we'll just keep playing. Okay, so I've had a little bit of a play and I've gone against what I was going to do. I've actually dug out my alcohol inks, but I'm really liking this look more so, which is the espresso. And then I've gone back in with the orange sherbet and sort of just dabbed or wiped. Probably hop up and have a look and see if you can actually see what I'm talking about here. And it's taken away some of the base color and added that other color. So I like how that's looking. This is probably a little bit too dark. I mean, there's probably a place for it, but I'm really loving this color. So I think I'm going to stick with that. And then I just thought I might add just some small drops. I'm going to, I should have gloves on using the other alcohol inks, but I'm just going to do a few little drops and just see how that looks. So I'll go off and do that, and I'll just speed the camera up so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so I did drop a couple of different colours onto the tape. So I've used a sangria, which is a red, like a maroony red, plum red, and the Havana brown, which is very similar to this pen, espresso pen anyway. Havana brown, I think it was, yeah. Don't hate them, but I'm really liking the way that these particular ones are looking here. So I think what I'll do is I'll do majority of my tapes like that. So I need to let that dry. What I'm going to do is just grab some designer scrapbooking paper. I'll probably use some Tim Holtz paper, I think. And I'm just going to make a cover and decorate that quickly. And then I'm just going to bind all these sheets into this little booklet. So you can see some of the tape lifting here. I've never done this before, so I don't know how well it's going to stay on there. I may have got some alcohol ink underneath there, which has made that lift. So I would imagine that when I'm using this, I may have to add some glue. But with that lifting, if it's in a little booklet with the cover closed, hopefully it will all just stay there until I use it. So I'm going to head off, grab some supplies. I might do a few more pages of this just to go in, and I can always colour it when I've got the pages put in. It just means I need to leave it open to let it dry. But honestly, if you don't put a lot, those pens that I've used, they're dry already. They dry pretty quickly. So I'll head off and do that, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm quite liking how this one's looking here. So what I did was I just laid down some of the darker one, the espresso pen, and left some spaces with nothing on there. And then I've just come back in with a lighter alcohol marker, and I've just sort of dabbed it into the spaces that were left, the tape was left with nothing on it, and just sort of done that. And I quite like the way that that's come up. So there's some really different tapes there. I mean, these are definite shapes that you can see, but we're going to be cutting little bits and pieces. So these I quite like too. And I've just gone over them with the pen, dabbed the nib in. This one I've sort of basically just done 2 colors. So it's just a little bit of experimenting, really. So there's 2 pages that I've done. I'm thinking I'm liking these colors better rather than the darker one, but as I said, there's probably a place for that. It's not authentic. You're never going to get it to look authentic. Well, I know I'm never going to get it to look authentic, but it's a little bit of fun and can just add a little bit of dimension and color to your creations. All right. Now we'll get on to just making a simple little cover, and we're going to bind these pieces into it, and then we'll have somewhere to store our tapes. Alrighty, I think I'm going to just use, actually these might not be, these are the backdrops. Okay, so they're not going to be big enough. All right, we might just get a sheet of Tim Holtz paper. I just thought some of these might be good as a cover, but we'll pop them aside. This is the first one I grabbed. So this is French Industrial. So I need the cover to be, actually I'll use this other one because I know that it's definitely all dry. So these pages are about 5 by 6. 5 by 6, so 6 by 14. That's not going to work, is that? Okay, I didn't think this through very clearly. It's okay, we can make this work. So we want it 6 inches wide. One thing that's so frustrating, these pads, they always tear like that. So we need to make the cover a little bit wider. So I'm just going to cut this, the width of what this is, which is 5. So we're going to make this, we're going to cut it at about 6 inches. So cut 6 inches this way. And then I'm going to add just something on the end here. So I'm going to tear this edge here and ink that up. I've inked around all of that. I distressed it with the Tim Holtz tool, and I've torn that edge. Now I want this to be, the back cover to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches, I think. I'm going to fold it about where that eye is there. So this, I'm not measuring at all. I'm just guesstimating. And then I want to add something under here so that that gives me more room for my cover. So the pages will fit in there then. I think I really like this here. And then what I'm thinking as well, I might... I may as well make this practical, this bit here, and maybe do a top loading pocket, just so that if I've got extra strips of tape, I can just stick them in the top there. So that fits out. I'm going to get my blade and my metal ruler. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. And I'm going to cut. Now I can trim this down if it's too long. Okay. Do I like that? I think I like that there better. This is going to be the inside. So I want to distress this part here. And I'm going to cut a divot in the top here. So I want it to be about in the center of that. So it's about the center. I'm probably going to sew around all of this as well to make sure I've got it sitting the right way. So that constitutes our cover, and I'll probably do a little bit of layering on the front here as well. I need to probably add a little bit of some of these tapes. So these are all dry now, and they just peel off. Where's my scissors? So I'm just going to tear it. Just add a little bit in there. I've just scratched some of that off there. That's okay. So I'm just going to glue on this edge because this will make a pocket on the inside. And then I'm going to probably really roughly sew that. Actually, I don't want to glue that yet. Or do I? No, because then I'll be sewing that pocket closed in there, won't I? Okay, need to think about this. I'm going to go away and I'm going to sew this separately to this and then come back and revisit it. Okay, so I've sewn around all those and I did it separately this time so that I don't get all myself all mixed up with what I was doing. I'll just trim some of those off. And now I will glue that. I'm going to glue here and to here. I just need to, about here. Just making a mark with my nail there. I'm going to glue here, here, and then here, and then I'm glue that down as a pocket. I just want to roll some of this over just to give it a bit more texture. All right, add a little bit of tape here as well, I think. I'm just going to tuck it into that pocket there, just so it's over the edge. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of decoration. What I might do first though is I might put these pages, actually bind them in there. I'm just going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, I think. So I'll get my other pages that I had as well. So I've just got five sheets of this baking paper. And we can put tape down and ink the other side as well. And as I said, we can do this once these pages are in here. And once I've used all this tape, I can always put more tape in and just, especially with the alcohol pens, it's not as messy. So I'm going to try and get this in, because this is quite slippery, the baking paper. And it's not perfect, the exact same size. I'm going to try and clip that, and then I'll just stitch it all together. All right, in the end, I decided that I was just going to sew it on the sewing machine. It was just there, quick and easy, without having to dig out all my binding tools. So I've just sewn, basically, it's off center and it's not straight, but I'm not upset about it. It's just basically a storage booklet just for my tape so that I remember to use it. Okay. So that's what it looks like. That's with some tape in it. Obviously there's going to be 2 pages at the back as well. And then I can just come in when I feel like it and just add tape to that as I go. I'll probably just clip it shut with a bulldog pin or a bulldog clip. But I think I want to do a little bit of layering on the front here just to finish off the cover. So if it's going to be sitting on my desk, it may as well look nice. Okay, so I've just grabbed some Tim Holtz ephemera. So I've got these number strips and the snippets, curator snippets, and I've just got these little bags of ephemera pieces. So let's just have a look what's in here. I really want to use, and I think I will, I just love his found relatives and snapshots lately. And I mean, this is all goes with the aged look as well. So a bit big, those ones. Let me have a look in here. I just love him. Actually, he looks like he could be the CEO of the tape manufacturing plant. So I think I am going to use him. So I'm just getting really rough with this photo. And I'll ink it up, and I'll probably add a little bit of tape to it as well. I'm actually going to tear here. And add a bit of tape. Just have him like that. And I want to do a little bit of layering. So I'm just going to have a bit of a fiddle with some bits and pieces, and then I'll be back. I just remembered that I had, when I was cleaning up my desk today, that I had found a couple of these Tim Holtz cogs, and I thought I'd just grab them out, and they might look good on that clock. So I'm going to glue it down. I'm just using Dimensional Magic to do that. I'm not thinking too much about it, just putting them down very randomly. I really like that tape on there. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit and dry. And I think I'm going to put that down in this corner here. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of layering underneath the photo. So I'm going to bring in because the negatives are very similar colour, I'm going to bring in some of that for layering underneath. And I like this because it's got the bit of discoloration there. So let me just have a look. I think I'm going to pop that underneath there like that. I'm actually going to cut this in half because oh, actually look at that. I think I want to keep that number on there. All right, so I'm going to trim that off to about there. So I keep every single little skerrick of those negatives. And I think I'm going to, I just really don't want to waste any of it. So I'm just going to cut this down because it's going to be hidden behind the photo anyway. And I can use that on something else. So, And I'm just thinking, okay, I'm going to put the negative on there anyway because I quite like how that looks. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue. Actually, I might just use the Dimensional Magic since I've got it out. And just let that grab. And I was going to have him on an angle, but I think I like, because I want to use that clock, and I think it looks better there than sort of sitting over here. Just to my eye, I think it looks better. So I think I'm going to do it like that. Now I'm just going to put a bit of a glue underneath here just so I've got the clock sitting on top of the photo where I want it. And then I still think I might put a little bit of layering of some sort on there as well before I actually glue it down. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's not a lot of layering, but it's just enough just to give a little bit of interest. And I'm just going to roll that over. So I think I'm just going to glue that straight down onto the cover like that. And there we have just a little book just to hold all the aged tape that I've made. Now, I've just made that just so that it's usable. And I'm thinking I'm going to do another video coming up, not sure when exactly, but I'm going to do some making your own washi tape, and I'm thinking that I can put the strips of that in there so that all my tapes, handmade tapes, are put together in the one place. And I'll just pop this on my desk, and at least if I see it, I know that I'll use it then. So some of that hasn't stuck down properly just yet, but it will. So what do you think? It's a little bit of fun. And I love this idea with the pens. So thank you so much, Andrea. As I said, I will put her details down below. If I do forget, which is quite on the cards, I will try to get better at that. It is journal_the_junk on Instagram, and the same on YouTube. All right, so that is it. I'll bring it up a little bit closer for you to have a look at. So lots of layering and that tape. I really love that tape. I've just got that tucked in under there. I love that number on that film strip there too. I've got the pocket inside, and then that's the tapes. So I'm going to go off and have a play and make some more, and then I have to just make sure that I use that in my projects. So all right guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun playing, and until next time, I hope you get a little bit of creative time in. See you soon. Bye bye.